Welcome to lying down yoga. Find a place where you can stretch your mat out onto the floor and set aside about 40 minutes to do this practice where you won't be disturbed. Perhaps turning off your cell phone. And come onto the floor, onto your back. Knees can be bent and feet on the floor, or you can stretch the legs out on the floor, whatever feels more comfortable for your own body. Arms are resting on the floor, palms facing up, if that's comfortable for your arms. And begin by welcoming yourself to this practice. And congratulating yourself for taking the time to do this practice. Feeling the body on the floor and feeling the contact that the body makes with the floor. The sensation of the floor beneath the body. And we're going to begin with ocean breath. So on your next inhale, breathing in through the nose and exhaling out with a again, breathing in through the nose and exhaling out with a breathing in through the nose and exhaling out with a and then letting the breath return to normal. And simply being with your breath the way it is right now, feeling the body breathing itself. Throughout this yoga practice, I'm going to be reminding you to connect in with the breath, to bring awareness to the breath. Because yoga is a breathing practice. We put ourselves in various poses that are good for the body, but we stay connected to the breath as much as possible. And this connectedness to the breath helps to quiet the mind. The word yoga means to yoke mind, body, and spirit. So being sure to go at your own pace, listening into your own body. And even if I direct you through poses that you notice don't feel quite right for your own body, paying attention to your body, responding to your body, and only doing what feels good for you. So on your next inhale, breathing in and raising the arms up overhead and resting them on the floor above your head. If your knees are bent, stretching your legs out fully so that your body is fully stretched out on the floor. And then just a good morning or good afternoon stretch, just to stretching the body. You can move the body in any way that feels good, but it's kind of as if you're waking up. And so lengthening your body on one side and then lengthening it on the other side. And simply enjoying stretching the body in whatever way it feels good. And then exhaling out and bringing the hands to the floor. Now bending both knees and placing the bottoms of the feet on the floor, hip width apart. And we're going to move into a pelvic tilt. So I want you to press your back into the floor. Press the low back into the floor. And then I want you to simply let the back arch up off the floor. So inhaling and pressing your back into the floor, and exhaling and arching the back up. So you'll notice that the back is just moving into the floor and out off the floor. And this is a nice massage for the lower spine. So coordinating your own breath with the movement, inhaling, pressing the low back into the floor, and exhaling, letting the low back lift up and arching the low back. Now drawing both knees up and into the chest. So clasping the knees with your hands and gently just moving the knees toward the chest. Breathing here. And then on your next exhale, lifting the shoulders up off the floor and bringing the nose toward the knees, drawing the navel in toward the spine. This strengthens the abdominal muscles, good, and then exhaling and releasing down toward the floor. And then rocking back and forth from side to side, letting your knees roll from one side to the other side, left to right, giving the low back a nice massage on the floor. And now lengthening the right leg and stretching it out so that it rests on the floor. The right foot is flexed so that the toes are pointing up toward the ceiling. And the left knee is still drawing in toward the chest. Left foot is flexed so that the toe is pointing up toward the ceiling. Draw the knee in toward the chest, letting the shoulders rest back down on the floor, and the chin draws in toward the chest. Good, and simply breathing here. And then lifting the shoulders up off the floor and reaching the nose up toward the knee. Again, engaging the stomach muscle, drawing the navel in toward the spine. And on the exhale, releasing back down toward the floor. Good. Breathing here. And then switching sides. So, bringing the right knee in toward the chest and the left leg rests then on the floor. The left leg is active and the left foot is pointing up toward the ceiling. The right knee draws in toward the chest and the right foot is flexed with the toes of the right toe pointing up toward the ceiling. Let the shoulders rest down into the mat. And simply relax into the pose here, taking a couple breaths here. And then same as the other side, lifting the shoulders up off the floor, drawing the nose toward the knee, drawing the navel in toward the spine, and on the exhale, releasing back down and taking a couple easy breaths here. And now thread the needle. So bringing both feet onto the floor, knees are pointing up toward the ceiling. Feet are hip width apart. And raising the right leg and placing the right ankle on the left knee. This may be enough of a stretch, and you can stay here. But if you'd like to do more of a stretch, you can reach your right arm in through that little triangle and draw the left knee in toward the chest. The right foot is flexed. And breathe here. And now switching sides. So putting the left ankle on the right knee. And staying here if this is feels like a good enough stretch for you, or if you'd like to, reaching that left arm through the triangle and drawing the right knee in toward the chest. The left foot is flexed. And breathing here. Good, and then returning both feet to the floor and drawing both knees in now toward the chest. And we're going to do a gentle twist. So allowing your knees to fall over to the right side. The knees are on the floor. And the arms are stretched out to the side. They can be in T formation or they can be in cactus formation. If it's all right with your neck, you can turn your head to look out over that left arm. Or if not, simply just looking up toward the ceiling. And breathing here. And to come out of this pose, raising that left leg up first and letting the weight of that left leg draw you over to the other side. So now allowing both legs to fall over to the left side. The arms are out in a T or in cactus. And if it's comfortable for your neck, you can turn to look out over that right hand. And breathing here. And then to come out of this pose, drawing the right leg up, drawing both legs up back to center. And we're going to be rolling over to come up onto all fours. Coming up onto all fours, you want your palms underneath your shoulders, and you want your knees underneath your hips. The hands are placed firmly into the ground, and the fingers are spread wide apart, with the index finger pointing up toward the top of the mat. And so this is table pose. In this pose, in table pose, the head is in line with the spine. And from this pose, we're going to go into cat-cow. So I'd like you to arch your back up to the ceiling like a cat does when it's angry. And then releasing the back, arching the back, letting the belly fall toward the floor. The chest opens up and the head lifts up. So, coordinating breath with movement. Let the back stretch up toward the ceiling, and then on your inhale, inhaling up, opening the chest, lifting the head. So exhaling, back arches up toward the ceiling, and inhaling, chest opens up, head draws forward. Just coordinating this with your own breath and continuing for a few more breaths, coordinating breath with movement. Good. And so now coming back to table, so to coming to flat back, and we're going to come into bird dog. So in bird dog, I'd like you to first take the left leg and straighten it out so that the toes are resting on the floor. The left leg is straight. And when you're ready, lifting your left leg up so that it is parallel to the floor. The hips also stay parallel to the floor. And breathe here in this pose. This may be enough for many of us, but if you feel ready, lifting the right arm up so that it also is parallel to the floor. This is a balanced pose, it's a strenuous pose. So maintaining an awareness of the breath as you're here. And then when you're ready, placing your hand and your knee back down. Good. And now some more cat and cows just to release the back. So arching the back up and then letting the belly fall to the floor. Coordinating breath with movement. And then coming to a flat back, coming back to table. And bird dog on the other side. So straightening the right leg and placing the right toes on the floor behind you. And when you're ready, lifting the right leg up so that it's parallel to the floor and keeping the hips level. This may be enough for many of us, but if you'd like to, raising the left arm up so that it's also parallel to the floor and breathing here. And then on your next exhale, releasing, placing hands back down on the floor. Knees are both on the floor. And again, cat-cow. So stretching up in toward, arching the back up toward the ceiling. And then letting the belly, chest opens up, head draws up. And coordinating breath with movement here. And coming to flat back, coming to table. And now lunges. So bringing the left foot up between your hands into a lunge. The right knee stays on the floor. And feeling the stretch here in the hips. Opening the chest and breathing here. Letting the back be long. Making sure that the left knee is directly over the left ankle. You can come up onto your fingertips if that's easier for you, or if you have blocks, you could use blocks and come up onto blocks here. And just breathing here into this pose. And then switching sides. So finding a way to draw the right foot now up in between your palms and placing the right foot on the floor between your palms. And lunging forward on this side. You may notice this side feels different than the other side or not. Just notice the sensation in the body here. Come up onto your fingertips if you'd like, and just opening up the chest. So straightening that back body and letting the chest open up. Making sure that The right knee stays over the right ankle. And breathing here. And now, downward dog. So curling your left toes and bringing your right foot back so it joins the left foot, coming into downward dog. So in downward dog, so the hips reach up toward the ceiling and back. I'd like you to start with walking the dog. So simply let your knees bend, kind of like you're riding a bicycle. It's walking your dog out. The arms are straight and strong. Fingers are wide apart with the index finger pointing up toward the top of the mat. And hips are up and back. And then drawing your heels down toward the floor. Engaging the feet, engaging the legs. And so now letting the knees come down to the mat and coming back into child's pose. So letting the hips rest back on the feet. The arms can stretch forward on the mat, or if you'd like, the arms can rest down by your side. This is a resting pose, so just take a couple letting go breaths here. And then coming back up to all fours, we're going to go back onto our backs. So find a way to come onto the floor again. And we're coming into bridge pose now. So lying back down on the floor. And just feeling what it feels like now to be resting on the floor, taking a minute just to feel the floor beneath the body. And so in bridge pose, the feet are on the floor, the knees are pointing up toward the ceiling. And I'd like you to simply raise your hips up toward the ceiling. So now the hips are raised up to the ceiling. I want you to snuggle your shoulders under your body, which allows more of a lift in the upper body. Keeping the knees over the ankles and breathing here. If you'd like, you can snuggle your shoulders even further under your back and clasp your hands. Legs are engaged and chest opens up. Breathing here. And then to come out of it, simply lowering the spine slowly onto the floor, vertebra by vertebra. Letting the low back be the last to unroll onto the floor. And then just noticing the feel here, noticing how the body feels now. And breathing. And now another twist. So beginning just by drawing the knees toward the chest. And allowing now the knees to fall over to the right side. Arms are out to the sides in a T formation or cactus. And then raising those legs up and over to the other side. So drawing both legs now over to the left side in a twist. And breathing here. Bringing both legs up to center now. Draw the left leg in toward the chest, at the same time as lengthening the left leg and straightening the left leg as much as is possible for you up toward the ceiling. This pose combines both lifting the leg up toward the ceiling and drawing the leg in toward the body. Again, following your own body and not taking things too far, but noticing that there is a stretch at the back of the leg here. Breathing here in this pose. And so now we're going to be moving to bringing the nose up toward the left knee. So lifting the shoulders up and drawing the nose toward the left knee. Engaging the stomach muscles, drawing the navel to the spine. This is a core strengthener. And then on the exhale, releasing back down, letting the shoulders rest into the mat and taking a letting go breath. And now letting the left leg come down to the floor so the foot is placed on the floor. That left leg is bent. And we're going to do this on the other side. So straightening the right leg and stretching the right leg up toward the ceiling. The leg can be bent, that's fine. And clasping the hands behind the right thigh. And drawing the right leg in toward the chest at the same time as lengthening and straightening the right leg up toward the ceiling. So drawing the right leg in toward the chest at the same time as straightening the leg and lifting the leg up toward the ceiling. And then same as on the other side, we're going to be lifting the shoulders up off the floor and drawing the nose up toward the right knee. Stomach muscles are engaged, drawing the navel to the spine. And on the exhale, bringing the shoulders back to the floor and releasing the right leg back down and straightening both legs out onto the floor. And just taking a moment just to rest here. The hands can be down by the sides of the body. And just breathing here. I'd like you now to roll onto your right side. And you can cradle your head under your, onto your right shoulder. Or you can bend your right elbow and cradle your head onto your right hand. The left hand is placed in front of the body at the belly level to act as a support for the body. The legs are straight and strong. Engage the stomach muscles. Draw the navel toward the spine. And lift the left leg up off the floor about 2 feet. Hold the left leg up there and flex that left foot, and then let the left leg come back down to join the other leg. So on the inhale, inhaling up, raising the left leg up, and on the exhale, letting the left leg rest back down. Inhale, draw the stomach muscles in, navel to spine, lifting that left leg. And exhale, releasing the leg back down. And one more time, inhale, lifting the left leg up, navel to spine. And exhale, letting the left leg rest back down. And now other side. So rolling the body over to the left side, Getting yourself comfortable on the floor on the left side, cradling your head on your left shoulder or resting your head on your left hand. The right hand is placed in front of the belly to act as a support. Both legs are straight and strong. Both feet are flexed. And then on your next inhale, drawing the navel into spine and lifting the right leg up about 2 feet off the floor. And on the exhale, letting the foot come back to join the other leg. And so inhale, drawing the navel in, raising the right leg up, and then exhale, releasing the leg back down. Inhale, drawing the leg up, navel draws in, and exhale, letting the leg release back down. And one more time, inhale, lifting the leg up, and exhale, releasing the leg back down to the floor. Good. And now rolling onto the belly. And begin by just resting here on the belly for a minute and feeling the floor on this front side of the body. Just taking a couple breaths here. We're going to come into Cobra. So in Cobra, I'd like you to bring both palms so that they're placed on the mat next to your ribs. The legs are engaged and the top of the feet are on the floor. Engage the legs, and on your next inhale, draw the upper body up. This is a strengthening pose for the upper back. Keep the legs strong, keep the feet pressed into the floor, and breathe here. And then on your exhale, releasing back down and turning the head to one side. You can place the arms back down by your sides. And just rest here. Turn your head now to the other side and continue just resting here on the floor. And now we're going to move into Savasana. So coming onto your back. And finding a comfortable pose here, comfortable position on your back. You might want to get a pillow for underneath your knees. You might even want to get a blanket and put it on your body, or maybe if you have a sweater nearby, or putting your socks back on. Close your eyes now. And simply allow yourself to receive all the benefits of this practice. Savasana, or corpse pose, is one of the most important poses of our practice because it allows the body to incorporate all the benefits. Simply feeling the body here and feeling the contact that the body makes with the floor. Bring awareness to the breath. The body just breathing itself. And then the ebb and flow of the breath as it's happening. Good. And so now, congratulating yourself for having done this practice. Knowing that this practice directly contributes to your health and well-being. That this is an act of self-care. And so now beginning to find a way to roll over to your right side. Cradling your head on your arm and just resting comfortably on the right side here for a few breaths. And then finding a way to use your hands to push your body up to a seated position. And just taking a comfortable seated position. And closing this practice.